And today I'm going to show you how to use a shed to build a sound booth inside your house, and we start right now.
Ventalosa.com.
And welcome to part 3 of this video series. I am going to be showing you how to build a sound booth inside a shed, which you can use indoors or outdoors. In my case, I am using it inside my house and I am loving it. On part 1, I showed you how to build these amazing foam acoustic panels that you can use on your studio, or in my case, inside this shed. And on part 2, I did show you how to build a corner mobile sound booth, and check that out if you are interested on how to build that one. So here's a little bit of a backstory why I decided to build a sound booth inside a shed. I've always wanted one of those really nice, very professionally made sound booths that you can find all over the internet, but I didn't want to spend $5,000, $8,000, $10,000 on one of those because I don't have that kind of money. So I said to myself, you know, I need to build one by myself, but I am not a builder. There are plenty of tutorials out there how to build one. So I said, what else can I do? I did some research on Amazon and I found this amazing shed you can see on the screen. And I said, you know, I'm just gonna give it a shot. I know how to build the acoustic foam panels. And I said, you know, it's 700 and something bucks. I'm just gonna give it a shot and see what happens. And what if I can fill this shed with all these acoustic panels inside? So I'm really happy I made this decision. Like I was saying, this shed is actually pre-made. You actually need to follow the instructions to put it together. I'm gonna give you some tips on how I put it together myself. It is a shed that is actually made to be outdoors, and you need to actually anchor the shed with wood on the ground. So I placed my shed over a foam type of carpet that came in between a big carpet we used in our living room. So if I find a link to something similar to what I used, I'm gonna leave you a link on the description below, and hopefully that will help you have something underneath if you decide to have the shed inside your house or inside your studio. So it took me a couple of days to put it together, but I was actually successful at the end. My wife did help me a little bit, screwing some of the most difficult screws on the roof especially. So let me show you a quick clip on some tips on how I build my shed inside my house. You essentially need to follow the instructions that come with your shed, but again, I'm gonna give you a few tricks that I used, some of the materials I used, and how many panels I used, and why I placed them, where I placed them, and also some of the pictures I took when I was building the shed, and the pattern I used to spray the roof panels, which I originally used tape on, and that didn't work, so I ended up using this 3M spray to glue them on the roof. And also a few other things I think they are actually valuable for you if you end up doing what I did. So here's the clip I made for you. The first tip I need to give you is to follow the instructions included with your shed. This particular shed tells you not to use an electric screwdriver. They do not specify why. My guess is that it's because you can damage the vinyl if you over tighten your screws, and an electric screwdriver can easily do that. I did screw a few screws with a regular screwdriver and soon said, screw that. And I used my electric screwdriver instead for the whole project. However, I was extremely careful and finished each screw with a manual screwdriver. You will need to screw hundreds of screws, so I leave it up to your discretion. I used double tape to stick these panels to the inside walls. However, the first one I tried, made by 3M, was just not strong enough. I'm leaving you links to both tapes so you know which one not to get and which one was the one I ended up using. And for the roof panels, I tried the same stronger double tape. However, even though it worked for the 12x12 panels, it was just not strong enough to stick and hold the foam against gravity. So I had to use the same 3M spray adhesive used on part 1 of this video series to make the 12x12 foam panels. And the spraying pattern I used on the back of the foam roof panels is the same square and X pattern I used to make the 12x12 panels. And now let me give you a quick 360 tour inside the shed that I shot with my Insta360 1X, and I'm gonna show you the placement of all the panels inside, so check that out next. Well, I wanted to give you a quick 360 tour inside this shed that I am going to be turning into a vocal booth after I install these amazing sound panels. And I'm using the microphone on the Insta360 1X camera, which is not a great microphone, but I will be doing a proper sound test with a much better microphone before and after I install these amazing panels, so you can check the before and after sound, and let's go shoot those videos. For this shed, I built a total of 72 12x12 acoustic foam panels, and I ended up using 68 of them. Check part 1 of this video series if you want to learn how to build them. Out of the 68, I used 20 panels on the back wall spread on 4 rows of 6 panels each. For the side walls, I used 16 panels on each, spread on 4 rows of 4 panels. I also used 4 XL acoustic foam wedge columns on the 2 back wall corners. I had to trim an inch out of one side of these columns to have them fit in between the side wall panels and the large back wall. I used the leftover strips over the small front gable panel on top of the doors. For the roof, I used 4 48x24 panels. However, I ended up trimming 4 inches on each to have them perfectly fit the shed's roof panels. I used the remaining 4 6x24 leftover scrap pieces from the roof foam panels to cover the slim vinyl panels between sidewalls and doors. And I used 5 12x12 panels on each door, forming an upside down L shape. And to complete 68 panels, I used 2 more 12x12 panels to cover the large gable section over the back wall. This voiceover was recorded with the Tascam DR680 Mark II on a Rode K2 microphone with an NOS Emperex tube made in Holland. So now let me show you the sound tests I run before and after installing the foam panels inside the shed, and the difference is significant, so please use your headphones if you want to really appreciate the improvements. And welcome, we are inside the shed now, and I am going to show you how the shed sounds like without the foam panels. So I just want you to listen how this sounds, and it's not very nice. Listen. Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3. And testing 1 2 and 3. Check, 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 check. And now I'm going to show you how this shed sounds like with the acoustic foam panels. And now with the shed finally finished, I'm going to run a quick sound test. Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3. And testing 1 2 and 3. Check, 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 check. And as you can hear, at least in my opinion, this shed sounds much better with all these acoustic panels installed. And that is it for part 3 of this video series. If you want to learn how to build those amazing acoustic panels, check part 1 where I show you exactly how I did it. And if you want to know how I built that corner sound booth, which is mobile, you can move around in your studio, check part 2 of this video series. I'm gonna show you how I built that corner booth, which is actually amazing and sounds really good. And if you like this video, please give it a like. Your likes really do help my channel and I really do appreciate each one of them. And subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so. And if you want notifications, hit that bell and you will be getting a notification every time I go live or every time I upload a new video. And very important, if you have any questions or any comments, please leave them in the comments below and I will do my best to answer them as soon as possible, typically the very next day, unless I need to research my answer, in which case it will take me a little longer, but I promise you I will reply to you as soon as I can. Again, thank you so much for watching, and until next time, see ya.
One, two.